This is going to be an absolute blast. So if you were a part of our exclusive membership-driven Vinyl Nation, then you will know that I love film, antique film, making film. We covered all three of these projectors in my collection in depth during that series, and I still have those shows. They're still marked private for right now until I decide what to do with them, because the membership show is no longer a thing, unfortunately. However, there may come a time in the future where I make those videos available some form or fashion. In the meantime, I'm going to start to introduce this kind of hobby of mine into the main channel. Today's a great day to do that because I've got something very cool to share with you. But prior to that, I wanted to show you my collection. So on the top left there, I've got a Keystone 16mm projector. On the top right, I've got an Argus 8mm projector. And in the middle, I've got a Chinon. This one is 8mm, and Super 8mm is a dual format projector. All three of them work. I do need a bulb for my Keystone, but they all work. Let's look at the films. I've got a wide assortment, everything from 16mm films. These are like 100-foot reels, Three Stooges. That's amazing. We've got Abbott and Costello, Woody Woodpecker. I love some of these titles. Little Cheeser. Look at the artwork, and the colors are just absolutely phenomenal. Also got some larger 16mm films. Little Bantamweight. Look at this one. Discontented Canary. Happy Cobblers. Some are 8mm. Some are Super 8mm, like this title, which is a little bit different. I'm not going to go into the nuances of 8mm versus Super 8, but there are slight differences. Anyway, these are a look at the films I have in my collection at this moment. I may add to them in the future if I find the need. But up until now, I was limited to projecting them on the wall, which is absolutely fun, an absolute blast with those projectors. But I wanted to show you something cool I got. A company recently reached out to me and asked if I would be interested in reviewing this amazing looking little device. This is a movie digitizer. This is a piece of brand new modern tech. Essentially, it will scan 8mm and Super 8mm film into digital files. So I thought that would be very cool since we have the film. So we could digitize it and take a look. So let's get on with it. Let's see what's in the box. According to this, like I was saying, it can handle 8mm and Super 8mm film. It's got a 2.4-inch LCD screen, 5 megapixels, I guess, of resolution, MP4 file formatting, and it's compatible with Windows and Mac OS as well. On the front here, it says 1080p resolution, 30 frames per second, and 32 gig SD card included. So that is really, really cool. Now let's literally see what's inside the box. I'm very excited about this. This has been sitting in storage waiting for its day in the spotlight for some time. And I have to tell you, I am just very interested. I've been aware of these for some time. And let's see what we got here. So there's a reel sort of packed in foam there. And the device is there. Also in the box, we've got a DC power supply, and then a bag full of accessories and the manual. Let me get everything unpacked and we'll take a closer look. Okay, in the box, we've got this little blotter brush so that you can squeeze it to give it a puff of air to clean lenses and pathways, things of that nature. Get a nice microfiber cloth, again, for lenses and cleaning film. An SD card. It says 32 gigs. It is completely unlabeled, which is interesting. I've never seen a completely naked looking SD card. That's bizarre. A little thank you thing along with how to get a hold of them for support. We've got a plastic take-up reel. And yeah, that should do the trick right there. A very nice looking manual. This is actually a book. It is really, really well laid out. We've got diagrams in here, detailed instructions, very visual, which I like. So that is all good. How about the main attraction? Let's look at the device itself. I was surprised at how heavy it was. I was expecting something that was kind of lightweight and plasticky, but this is definitely not lightweight. It feels, I mean, it is plastic, but it's very heavy. It's very, very heavy. So we've got the, film path clearly laid out. Switch for the 8 and Super 8 mode. Got the LCD screen, some push button controls right there. There's a nice handle kind of built into the molding. If we flip it around back, you can see that. SD card slot, 12 volt power supply, a TV output. That's cool. So it'll send a video signal out. That's really neat. USB. And again, this will work in conjunction with an external device like a computer, or it's a standalone scanner. So you don't need a computer to scan film. I mean, ultimately, you're going to need a computer to look at those films back, or some sort of device that'll play the compatible file type off of there. But yeah, that's a really, really neat thing. So let me go ahead and get it hooked up and we'll test it out. A couple other cables I don't think I showed before. So we got the USB there, as well as the video output, which is really neat. You've got everything you need in one package to do all of the film scanning and viewing you wanted. Very, very fun. Okay, here it is all loaded up. It was a snap to really put this film in and put the take-up reel on and thread it through. It's a little bit of intricate work putting it into this little holder here, but no big deal. This is the film we're going to be using to test with. I love this. It kind of looks like Santa Claus and elves, but it's the Happy Cobblers, a full movie length cartoon plus preview attractions. This is a Terrytoon, which was a division of CBS Films. It's 8mm, standard 8 on the back. It's just like records where you have all this advertising stuff, pictures. It's just a great thing to have. And this film offer on the back. Very, very cool. Superimposed titles. Now, this is silent, and so is the scanner. So there will be no audio. Another reason why I chose this is one of the films that I demoed in the Vinyl Nation show. So I've got a comparison of what it looks like projecting on a wall versus what we're going to scan. So speaking of what we're going to scan, I've got it all loaded up. Let's press the power button. See what happens. I'm going to move the camera in a little closer. Okay, so it's booting up. Okay, that is trippy. Is it actually scanning? So that's actually on the film. Okay, I was like, how does it know? What's going on here? But as you can see, it says it's a 3-inch reel, which I don't think it is a 3-inch reel. I think it's more of a 5-inch reel. Let me go into mode here. So we've got playback, fast forward. There's an exposure setting. So I guess you can skip down, frame adjust, sharpness adjust, language adjust, USB in case you're like connected directly to a computer, format and default settings, and then a firmware version. Okay, this is pretty cool. So if I go back out of this, and I think all I have to do is hit the start button. It's like start and stop. So I think that this will scan. So let's see what happens. It says 3-inch reel. No, it's a 5-inch. So I'm going to go down to here. This is so cool. Don't move the film. Okay, I won't move it. And it goes through. Oh, cool. So it scans every frame. All right, this is going to take a hot minute. I think I read that it does this frame by frame. So that is going to take a little bit of time, but the quality should be a lot better considering the fact that it is scanning every individual frame. Somehow in my mind, I visualized it scanning it like super, super fast. So, okay, well, let me stop the camera, and what we will do, oops, it stopped. You can see there's a little tear here, not from this device, but a previous device. This is a good excuse for you to see kind of up close what this part looks like, though. We'll just move it past that tear. There's like this little indent back there. You can see it in the corner. So you slide the film on each side under the indent, and then it is in place, and literally it just shines a light up there. There's a camera in the top recess in that hole somewhere. And then it shows what's going on right on the screen there. It was kind of nice that it didn't like totally freak out when that happened. It just sort of stopped and I was able to address it. Okay, I'm going to hit the button here and it'll resume its recording process. That is so cool. Okay, I will be back once we've scanned some footage here. And then when you're done, you can fast forward it, which is nice. One thing that is a little bit tricky is that the fast forward feature, and there is no rewind feature, but the fast forward feature is completely menu driven. So there's no hard switch. Like if it got jammed or you ran into problems, it's a good 10 seconds until you can access the menu and shut it off. So I can see that being an issue. Okay, so now let's do a little on-screen comparison. I'm going to play back for you the recorded file as well as what I recorded projecting this off the wall.
All right, so what we're looking at here is not the Happy Cobbler. I thought I had used the Happy Cobbler, but apparently I used a different castle film. So this is one of those newsreels. But as you can see from looking at this projection on the back of a door or a wall or something, it's very flickery. The edges are not well defined. The exposure is just kind of iffy. So there's a lot of things at play here. The optics of the projector, obviously the light source, and all of that good stuff. So let's compare it now to a scanned film, albeit a different one. You'll still get the basic idea, and see how the quality has improved between the projected image and the scanned image. I think that you'll see a big difference. And indeed, it is definitely sharper, a much improved picture. There are a few issues here. So we've got some jitter, we've got an overlap on the bottom, so a little bit of the frame alignment. And on the left, we've got an exposed area that didn't have any film on it. So some adjustments can be made. You know, as I get used to this device, I should be able to shore up any of these deficiencies. But overall, a very cool way to scan film and to watch it back. I think this is actually very, very interesting.
Okay, at the end of the day, this is a huge thumbs up for me. I think this is really cool. I am very excited to play around with it, to scan the films that I own. I only wish I had a color film. I didn't realize that all my 8mm film was black and white. So that would have been really neat to see the color quality. But as it is, I'm still excited. The quality of the image was nice. And 1080p video files off of old 8mm films. This is fantastic. Now, these are commercial films, but I imagine that a lot of people would use this for family films. I have family films as well. They're 16mm. So I need to find one of these that does 16. That would be really, really cool. But think how much money this would save you in the long run, because having these films transferred professionally, I'm sure that this thing would pay for itself. Anyway, link in the description down below. We'll have it on the show in the future, I'm pretty sure, because this is just a blast and I'm having fun just playing with it right now. So thank you guys so much for watching this.